on the corner of 25 West Main Street in downtown Vermilion. The spot, Winnie Mays, is proud to support programming on Coyote News. The spot, Winnie Mays, providing salon and spa services for men, women, and children.
Coming up on Coyote News, a new sexual assault program's launched. We'll tell you what they're planning for Friday.
Plus, where you buy your textbooks might affect local bookstores. We'll show you how. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Solik.
And I'm Devin Martin. We'll get to those stories and more, but first...
6 people were killed and more than 200 were injured in a 6.4 magnitude earthquake in Taiwan yesterday. 76 people are still missing. The quake knocked buildings off their foundations and caused some highways to collapse. Aftershocks are still being felt. A Cornell University fraternity has been placed on probation for 2 years after participating in a contest called the Pig Roast. This secret game consisted of members sleeping with women and getting points based on their body weight. The person who slept with the heaviest women would win the contest. Cornell's Greek Life Review Board disciplined the chapter based on policy violations that include hazing and sexual abuse behavior. Russian hackers tricked military contract workers into exposing their email to theft. The hacker group, known as Fancy Bears, targeted 87 people working on drones, missiles, and other military technologies. The specific information that was stolen is not being reported at this time. Now let's take a look at weather with Carter Hofer.
Thanks, Lauren. Right now, it's mostly sunny and 18 degrees outside. Tomorrow, there's a 30% chance of snow in the afternoon, with a high near 25 and a low of around 4. Friday will be mainly cloudy, with some cooler temperatures, a high of 13 and a low of 1. Also on Friday, there's a chance of snow before noon, so don't put those shovels away anytime soon. Looking toward the weekend, the temps will remain about the same, including a 50% chance of snow on Saturday, with an expected high of 15 and a low of 1. And that's your Coyote weather.
Thanks, Carter. USD's new sexual assault prevention program was launched last week. iCare is funded by a $300,000 grant to prevent and respond to sexual assault on campus through programming and advocacy.
Well, welcome to the iCare launch. The iCare team has been working all year to develop programming to prevent and respond with victim-centered and culturally competent approach to sexual assaults at USD through programming and advocacy.
The event was intended to showcase iCare to students and to introduce the events planned for this semester.
If you think about the number of hours that have gone into this between now and then, it is phenomenal. And there's just so many people who have sunk so much of their time and so much of their energy to bring us to where we are today. And there are a lot of people who remain invisible that have been very, very active in making sure that we got to this point.
iCare information can be found by visiting the Student Life section on the USD website. The iCare response team is providing an optional statement for faculty members to add to their course syllabus. All faculty are mandatory reporters of sexual assault.
Following the iCare launch, 3 student organizations came together to promote sexual assault awareness. Coyote Athletics, PAVE, and iCare worked together to provide an event to support victims of sexual assault and education on how to prevent it. PAVE President Alyssa Fothergill says her hopes for the night were to promote awareness of sexual assault.
Our hopes for the event were just to kind of spread the word about sexual assault awareness. It's usually a topic that kind of gets pushed under the rug and people don't like to talk about it. So what we hope for people that come to this is just to realize that this can be an awareness night. We can talk about sexual assault because it's an issue. It needs to be talked about.
And this is the first of many iCare events planned for the semester. The next event, Native Love Is, will be Friday afternoon in the Muck. Coming up, USD Greek Life kicks off their spring recruitment.
Yoga has a way of spilling over into other areas of your life, so lessons that we learn on the mat seem to go with us when we walk out the door. And yoga teaches us to listen to our bodies, to ask for permission, and to learn ways of healing and balancing our bodies.
is Coyote News.
President Abbott was presented with the inaugural State of Innovation Visionary Award last week. The award was presented at the annual Research Park Day at the legislature. President of the USD Discovery District, Richard Nasser Jr., says President Abbott exemplifies the leadership that it takes to make progress that benefits the state. Abbott has helped to establish the USD Biomedical Engineering Program, the opening of the USD Graduate Education and Applied Research Center, and supported key legislation for the incorporation, infrastructure, and funding of the USD Discovery District.
Last semester, USD's enrollment rose to 10,261 students, but that number hasn't carried over to this semester. A recent trend indicates that more freshmen aren't returning to campus after winter break. USD's data research shows that retention rate for first-time students dropped from about 76% in 2014 to almost 72% in 2016. USD student Garrett Adams says participation in campus activities is one determining factor.
I feel like freshmen need to get more involved in activities and not be afraid to go ahead and get involved in different activities.
I don't think they're as prepared as they think they are. I know I had that same thought process. I thought about dropping out myself after my first semester. Actually, I didn't, but...
I'm going to say it's because we're lazy. I am one, and I'm
Probably
lazy.
True. Yeah, that's
so,
true.
yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Data also shows USD enrollment overall in recent years is on the rise.
USD fraternities and sororities are showcasing their organizations to students. The Oat Report's Nick Nelson was at this year's Meet the Greeks.
With the new influx of USD students in the spring semester, University Greek Life is hard at work to get students to pledge their fraternities and sororities. Meet the Greeks is a chance for students to explore the Greek organizations that they may be interested in pledging.
Meet the Greeks is just for spring rushies to understand a little bit about the houses and what they do and a little bit more information so that if they do want to rush to a certain house, both frat or sorority, that they have the opportunity to get a little more information behind it.
USD Greek Life has 2 recruitments, one in the fall and one in the spring. And it looks like numbers are up for USD fraternity and sorority life. With more students arriving in the fall, Greek Life sees new membership spike during that recruitment. Thompson says the 2 different recruitments provide great alternatives for each other.
It's a great way to make connections, and if you end up not rushing in the spring, there's a great opportunity to rush in the fall.
Fall recruitment takes place during rush week at the beginning of each fall semester. For the Yote Report, I'm Nick Nelson.
Greek Life fundraising events continue throughout this semester.
Students looking to get a good meal while supporting campus diversity can go to the Native American Cultural Center to participate in the Coyote Taco Sale. Coyote News' Dean Welty tells us what this sale is all about and the goals behind it.
The Native American Cultural Center puts on a taco sale the first Tuesday of every month to raise money for the Wasipi Powwow held in the spring. Teospe Bay Council member Ingrid Cho says the sale also promotes the gathering of different cultures to spend time together.
USD is very inclusive and strive for diversity, so our goal is to bring awareness to Native culture here on campus and bring a community feeling within Vermilion.
The tacos are handmade by USD students and are made to order for all customers. The servers say they want to give the center a friendly and welcoming atmosphere for the almost 100 people that come in during the fundraiser. Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Dean Welty.
The next Teospe Bay Taco Sale is set for Tuesday, March 6th from 11 to 2 and then later that day from 5 to 7.
After the break, we'll tell you about some new guidelines for USD Greek Life.
This is Coyote News.
Amazon has become one of the most popular companies in the United States, especially for students buying their textbooks. But local bookstores can be affected by online book shopping. Eric Helland, the store manager of Discount Textbooks, says that online textbook shopping hasn't affected sales, but it has increased competition.
Supply and demand. The demand is the same, but the supply, there's so many different sources you can get, your books from, whether that's Amazon, Chegg, Us, Discount Textbooks, Barnes & Noble.
However, Helen says that his store is able to create stronger relationships with its customers.
Amazon, you're a number. You have an order ID number. Here, you're a customer, like I mentioned before. We like to get to know you on a face-to-face basis, build really good relations with the customers.
Helen also says students should check out their options before buying a textbook.
USD's Greek Life is preventing underage drinking through new online practices. Starting this semester, all sororities and fraternities must register their events through the USD-involved website. Students then indicate whether their event will allow alcohol. Greek Life Director Laura Anderton says state alcohol policies have not changed, but guided event registration should close gaps between policy and practice.
There has been a lot of news stories across the nation about campuses that have turned away from their Greek community because of the risk management concerns that they have. That's not our philosophy here at the University of South Dakota, to turn away from our fraternities and sororities, but rather to work with them to try and help them to understand the risk that they take on should they decide to have a social with alcohol.
All student organization events with alcohol should have invite lists and designated servers, as well as following fire and safety code.
While there always seems to be something going on inside the Munster University Center, Muck Bingo is one that consistently draws a crowd. Students living on a tight food budget or looking for fun had an opportunity to win prizes as bingo was held in the Muck. Every other Thursday, student organizations host bingo for free to students. The organizations give away prizes to winning students. These gifts include their choice of food and other household items. Students may join at any time by just grabbing a bingo card from the bucket in the hall across from the walk. The next Muck Bingo will be held on February 15th. To see the full list of Muck events, check out the calendar on USD.com.
Now, Coyote News' Allie Boysen is live from the Muck with the Associate Dean of Students, Dr. John Howell. Allie?
Thanks, Lauren. Dr. Howell, can you explain the search process for the position?
Sure. Once a position becomes available, one of the first things we do is we review the position descriptions. After that's approved, it goes through our Human Resources Department and it's posted on Your Future, which is the Common Board of Regents site for all open positions across the state. Committees are formed, so then we take some time to actually create a rubric based on the position description. Our committees and student services always do include a student's input, so we do have a student on that committee. We basically kind of use the rubric, kind of narrow the candidate pool, have phone interviews, and then from the phone interviews, we narrow it down even more to have on-campus visits. So those campus visits then do take place thereafter.
What qualifications are you looking for in the candidates?
We're always in our division looking for student-centered people, so that's obviously one of the first things that we look for. People have a demonstrated record of serving students and serving them well. For this current position for our housing director search, we did require a master's degree, but we're also looking at their ability to move the division forward, to move that department forward. So we're also looking for how do they have plans and demonstrated plans in their history to move a department of housing into the next chapter.
Have there been any student concerns voiced at the public forums that you've held?
There haven't. The students, I think, again, as part of that visit that they have on campus, we always do have student forums for our Division of Student Services openings. Students are very open. They're very transparent. I think what our candidates always appreciate is that the students ask directed questions so that they do know students have a voice in the process here at USD. So I wouldn't say any contention. I just think that they were involved and had great questions to ask our candidates.
Great, thank you. They hope to fill the position soon. Reporting live from the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Allie Boysen.
Thanks, Allie. So, Lexi, the women's basketball team is currently playing in Fort Wayne?
Yes, the game started at 5 p.m. and we will have highlights or updates of the score later. And after that, we'll have track and field highlights more after the break.
This is Coyote News.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, USD's football team takes part in National Signing Day, and the men and women's basketball team move up in the mid-major rankings, sweeping North Dakota State this weekend. But first,
After winning the Super Bowl, 3 Philadelphia Eagles have already stated they won't be attending the White House visit with the team. This has been a common theme with players on championship teams since Trump took office. New England Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels shocked the sports world yesterday after withdrawing from signing as head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. McDaniels says his meeting yesterday morning with Patriots current head coach Bill Belichick convinced him to stay. Coyote sophomore Chris Nelson extended his Summit League record by earning his 6th Career Athlete of the Month award. Nelson remains undefeated indoors for his collegiate career with 11 meet titles and ranks 10th all-time in NCAA history after setting a new USD record.
while Nielsen took the monthly award, 5 other Coyotes took Summit League Athlete of the Week awards, including 4 in swimming and diving and 1 in track and field. In swimming and diving, freshman Mark Vanderkees and sophomore transfer Katie Coleman took the Swimmer of the Week awards for the first time, while junior Sarah Shank and sophomore Isaac Morris swept the Diver of the Week awards for the 2nd straight week and the 6th time of the season. In track and field, sophomore Ethan Bray earned Men's Indoor Track and Field Athlete of the Week for the first time in his career. Bray vaulted a personal best and won the competition by almost a foot, as he is now ranked 11th in the NCAA at this season and 2nd in the Summit League, behind teammate Chris Nielsen. In this week's sports report, Caitlin Ryan talks with the track team about their successful start to the indoor season.
Even though the weather outside is getting colder, track season is still underway with indoor practices. And for a lot of these athletes, their hard work has been paying off.
After home meet this past Saturday, the track and field team is off to a fast start with a lot of athletes setting new personal goals.
We had some great performances. We had 32 kids have their season best performance. So for it not being a super competitive meet, we thought that was really good. But a lot of that was our kids who just could relax and get out and compete. And then, like I said, when you have your parents around and your friends around, it kind of makes for a really fun environment. So I thought our kids competed really well, and nice to not have to travel. You can't travel every weekend. It gets really hard on your body. Our kids are working really hard, and this time of the year we're just starting to tweak little things. You'll see us doing some starts, just things that we can do to kind of fine-tune getting ready for our conference meet, which will be 3 weeks away.
For young athletes like Ethan Bray, practices can be crucial to do well at their meets. Ethan was one of the 32 Coyotes that hit new goals this past weekend for his pole vaulting event.
Yeah, I did. I jumped a lot better than I expected to at this meet. It was my 2nd time this year from the longer run, so I was just didn't know how it was going to end up, and turned out better than I expected. I hope to jump higher this next week at Arkansas. It's a really good runway and just really good atmosphere with some incredible competition that'll be there. So it'll be fun to jump some higher bars with some really good athletes.
For the Sports Report, I'm Caitlin Ryan.
The track and field team will be represented this weekend at the Tyson Invitational in Arkansas and the SDSU Indoor Classic in Brookings. The USD football team announced the signing of 11 players this morning as a part of National Signing Day. The class included 3 defensive backs and 3 wide receivers, as well as nationally recognized running back Cannon Brooks. This is the 2nd signing class of the offseason for the Coyotes, as they signed 16 players, consisting of mostly linemen, shortly after their season ended this fall. The Coyotes men's basketball team moved up the ranks in the latest collegeinsider.com mid-major top 25, after jumping 3 spots from 9 to 6, the number 6 ranking in the highest ever for the Coyotes. They clinched their second straight 20-win season after defeating Western Illinois 80-54 and North Dakota State 76-72 last week. The Coyote women also made a jump up the poll 4 spots to number 11 after winning their 13th straight game and remaining undefeated through Summit League play after 10 games. The women posted their highest scoring effort of the season last week in doing their part of the Coyote sweep of Western Illinois, as well as completing the weekend sweep over NDSU with a blowout 84-54 win. Near the end of the first quarter, the Coyote women are up on the Mastodons 16-10. Now, Coyotes News' Whitney Fowkes is live from the muck with women's swimming and diving senior captain Kelly Howell. Whitney?
Thanks, Lexi. The men's and women's swimming and diving team take on the Summit League Championships next week. Thanks for being here, Kelly.
Yeah.
So have you done anything differently to prepare for the Summit League Championships as compared to other meets?
Yes, we have. We recently started taper, which is the point of the season where we kind of back off in the yardage and the amount of training that we do to give our muscles a rest so we can swim fast at the Summit League Championships.
And what does it mean to be the host team for your last meet for the Summit League Championships?
Honestly, it means the world. To be able to kind of call the Midco Aquatic Center pool our home pool, to be able to host for the Coyotes, it's a lot of pride.
And with this being your last meet, how do you hope to leave your mark as a Coyote?
I hope to just have fun, make my mark either on the record board or even in a teammate, just kind of carry on the legacy of the Yote pride.
Thanks for being here, Kelly.
Thank you.
The men's and women's swimming and diving team will be at the Summit League Championships February 14th through the 17th. Live from the muck for Coyote News, I'm Whitney Fowkes.
Thanks, Whitney. Coming up after the break, we will find out what students are looking forward to most about the Winter Olympics.
This is Coyote News.
The opening ceremony for the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea are this Friday. So we asked students what event they're looking forward to watching. Here's what they
Watching Shaun White. I didn't even know the Winter Olympics are coming, but now I'm excited.
Probably Olympic hockey just because it's fun to watch. Probably wrestling.
The event I'm probably looking forward to the most is probably the men's snowboarding halfpipe.
Oh wait, shoot, never mind. That's Summer Olympics. Men's figure skating.
The figure skating. The ice skating ones. Probably figure skating.
Probably the halfpipe, the men's halfpipe.
I am looking forward to the speed skating because we kick butt at that.
Probably the ski jumps.
I am looking forward to the men's snowboarding, particularly the slopestyle and big air, because it's a sport that I follow quite regularly.
The thing I'm looking forward to most is probably the bobsledding.
I don't actually watch very much of it.
I really like ice skating. The snow?
Anything to do with skiing. I just think it's cool how fast they go.
I don't know nothing about it.
Probably hockey, because I like people getting slammed into the walls.
Curling, because I like sweeping.
I'd have to say my favorite Olympic sport is definitely figure skating.
Yeah, definitely mine too.
I would have to say hockey because I know my mom goes crazy whenever she watches hockey. And be sure to pick up a new issue of The Volant out today featuring a preview story on Black History Month.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And be sure to watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week on KEOR and on the Coyote News social media pages.
Thank you and have a great night.